books, and they have some connections to the book club and some other things. So the first one is from my very first book called Becoming the Villainess. And it's pretty much how it sounds. This was a poem that was read on the radio by Garrison Keillor, and I was so excited because Garrison Keillor had to say the word thong against the bulk of male thugs. With names like Buffy, Electra, or Storm, they excel in code description, Egyptology, and pyrotechnics. They pout when tortured, but always escape just in time, still impeccable in lip gloss and pointy-toed boots, to rescue male partners, love interests, or fathers. Impossible chest burst from tight leather jackets, from which they extract the hidden scroll or antidote or dagger, tousled hair covering one eye. They return to their day jobs as forensic pathologists, wearing their hair up and donning dainty glasses. Of all the goddesses, these pneumatic heroines most resemble Artemis with her miniskirts and crossbow, or Freya with her giant gray cats. Each has seen this apocalypse before. See her perfect three-point landing on top of that chariot, riding the silver moon into the horizon, city crumbling around her heels. So that's the first book. That's from the first book, Becoming the Villainess. This is from my second book, which has a more touch on Japanese fairy tales, especially the more feministy ones, and anime. So this is The Lost Limbs of Anime Girls in Space, that Catherine would appreciate because she has a little anime in there. Yeah. The Lost Limbs of Anime Girls in Space. Somehow, in these futuristic worlds, we have always left an arm and a leg behind. As if these amputations make us seem more accessible. A portion of our torsos beneath the torn top visible, a glimpse of shining silver. Our hair still charmingly tousled, we are victims of some civil war or village atrocity conveniently unwritten, forgotten now. Military campaigns hidden in our pasts. Only these reminders that we might not be entirely human, merely a ghost caught in a metal shell. She'll give you an arm and a leg, they joke, while we walk in the night, wake in the night to scratch phantom skin, the joint between flesh and machine always aching, our souls affixed in some permanent alchemy to this heavy metal. There you go. Okay, so the last book we read in book club was Haruki Murakami's After Dark, a terrific book, and this has some references to it. In fact, was directly inspired by it, but it's also based on the very early versions of Snow White, in which it is not her stepmother who is trying to kill her, it is her mother. FYI, those stories are super dark. All right. In one version of Snow White, she escapes not with the woodsman, but she poops on the floor, and that's how she distracts the wolf. Facts, guys. Sorry, I didn't write it. Snow White dreams. I fell asleep one night after cheerleading practice. After that, I didn't wake up. In my dreams, I am trapped inside a television, watched by a man with no face. Sometimes I sing to animals who can talk. I try to open the door of a woodland cottage full of shadows. If I scream, no one will hear me. I am an illusion everyone wants to be part of. My mother wished me to be beautiful, then hated me for it. I think she put drugs in my soup. Men come to look at me, even asleep. They take photographs. They murmur over red lips, white skin, ebony hair, a teen dream. Being the pretty one can be so tiring. I got bored of making small talk. I expect I snack in my sleep. My tongue is covered with crumbs. All of the clocks have gone wrong. They're ticking inside my head. I swear there are cameras on me. I have become invisible. The white walls covered in posters and get-well-soon cards grow dusty, like a tomb. Still, a vacuum, like my cavernous heart. Eat it with salt. Poison me with apples, with ribbons, with combs. Mommy, I can't move. I need someone to breathe new life into this body. Unexplained Fevers was the book there. Irish publisher. So there you go, Little Ireland. This next book is from the book called The Robot Scientist's Daughter, which is about growing up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where my father was indeed a robot scientist. He worked with nuclear waste at Oak Ridge National Labs and taught at UT. The robot scientist's daughter, a medical wonder. The robot scientist's daughter was a bit confused. She started on a road to medical wonder, sat under the machine's lights, but then tiptoed off on a paper trail looking for an island of cranes. She made 1,000 wishes. Still, she shed a blue glow, and everyone said, "How sickly." Her nails made of plastic and paper mache. Her heart thumped 3 times too fast. Her one kidney curled inside her ribs, her blood trying to escape. "Father," she screamed, but he couldn't save her. The robot scientist's daughter knew what she had to do. With her own 2 hands, she built a new body, one that worked better this time, silver and shiny and smooth as mirrored glass. After all, she'd been trained. It was no less than was expected. She crawled inside and adjusted the fit. This time, there will be no stopping her. The curves roll impenetrable, and precision of each drum kit beat keeps her in line. She's a soldier, a savior, a ship bringing prisoners into space. That's the robot scientist's daughter. The next one is from, like Catherine, I wrote an apocalypse book a little too early. Mine was called Field Guide to the End of the World, full of plagues. Came out 2016. So I now worry I'm a witch. I think I might be a witch now. So this is, I've been really moved by the wildfires coming out. I lived in California for a few years of my childhood and began as an adult. So this was Introduction to California Poetics from Field Guide to the End of the World. In a place of perpetual climate control, you cannot get too angry at the world. You cannot get too angry at ranunculus, who throw their wide and fragrant faces to the light. You cannot be angry with hummingbirds, who winter here, confusing feeders with fuchsias, or the girls who wear hot pants with shearling boots in January. You cannot be angry, even with all the water crises, with all the swimming pools and sprinklers, with the careless swerving of giant cars from lane to lane. You will eat your avocado or asparagus, your citrus straight from the tree. You will see goats and grapevines. You cannot be angry with all this blue sky, dimmed hardly at all by a brown layer of smog, with the hard sunlight glinting off the cold ocean, the unwelcoming skin of the date palm, the oleander continuing to bloom along highways. You will not wear a sweater or huddle by a notebook. You will ski or swim. You will hike by giant eucalyptus trees. You will startle egrets and pelicans in a salt marsh. You will forget you ever wrote books at all. You will no longer regret. You will throw away your sweaters. You will burn down your library. You will go mad, tearing at the easy beauty, the soft golden sheen of skin. You will break the earth itself, burning to dust, unremembered. California had a real impact on me. Then again was Field Guide to the End of the World. All these books are for sale at the thing. I assume when you buy them, you get one also, if you want. Catherine's books are for sale. This book is from my latest, from Bola Editions, Flare Corona. And it was about getting diagnosed with terminal cancer, and then 6 months later, getting diagnosed with MS. It was a super fun year. That came out in 23. I'm still alive, by the way. So far, so good, right? So yes, it had a little bit of the plague year stuff in it. So this is Have I Mentioned Lately. This is the second to last poem. So one more after this, then you're done. All right. Have I mentioned lately that every story I tell is an apocalypse story? That every time I turn on the news or look out the window, something else is on fire? I've stockpiled water. I know all the exits. I've already said my farewells. But I'm not ready. I haven't yet established my own city of lights. I haven't even built a city of roses. It's just me, surrounded by my books, quiet. Yesterday, a meteor streaked by my house. The sonic boom shook the earth. I saw the tail of flame and thought, there goes the neighborhood. I read that the ice is melting, seas rising, solar flares reaching out for us. Still, we keep flying higher. We keep crafting escape aids. In the face of calamity, we keep cupcakes. In the blackout, a beacon of light, that candle you lit in the window. Saying goodbye is so much harder than you think. You look behind you, just for a second, before the flash, before the pillar of salt. So this last one is from my new book I'm working on, and I actually wrote it on the eve of Donald Trump's first inauguration. So, the same issues. All right. In which I declare my resistance. This is from my new book, which is currently called either Fireproof or Spellcaster, I haven't decided yet. All right. In which I declare my resistance. I will resist fire and flood. The moon and the sun will not exert their solar or lunar pressures on me. I will resist the wind. It will not carry me away. I will resist the entire earth, a cloak of darkness around me and a cave to protect. A protest of oceans rising, of clouds descending, dust in the air and fire in the sky. I will resist with plagues of locusts, with the witherings of crops. And when you cry out, don't be surprised if you hear my laughter and the scraping of tree branches together or the movement of air through empty windows. You have your chance. I will resist in a barrage of rooks and rocks and wild horses. The fish will glint in the light, but you will never catch them. The birds will claw at your eyes, and if this world burns, so be it. I am the feathers of 1,000 poisoned snow geese, the cesium and the snow and clover in the mouths of children. I am the embers of the dresses of charred women. Thank you so much.